Hey, this is Kevin Lancaster, and you're listening to the Power of Pro Wrestling podcast.
This is the Power of Pro Wrestling, a podcast by wrestling fans for wrestling fans. Thank you for listening and enjoy the show.
And welcome to a very special TLC 2016 prediction show for the Power Pro Wrestling podcast. This is your host, Robert Red, and for this very special prediction show, I'm going to be joined by my guest, Jake Neal. How you doing, Jake?
Hey, I'm pretty good. I'm glad to be back. Excuse me a little bit. I've got a rough throat tonight, so bear with me.
Hey, that's perfectly fine. I'm just glad to have you back. You did great on our last podcast. Apparently, the listeners seem to like you, so I'm glad to have you back. Also, guys, if you like what you hear, you can support us on Patreon. The link will be in the description below. But let's get to our predictions. And we're going to start with, if you listen to this podcast often enough, we always like to start with the non-title matches, and then we'll get into the actual title matches. So let's start with the women's match that is not for the title. It's no DQ, it's Nikki Bella, Carmella. So let's start with, How do you like the build to this match? Have you kind of liked the Nikki Bella Carmella rivalry? Kind of what's your thoughts on it? I
mean, it's almost as bad as the Sasha Banks and Charlotte, to be honest. I'm not trying to mix shows here when I talk about this, but it just I'm tired of seeing them fight. And in all honesty, this really needs to be the last chapter in this rivalry, in my opinion. You know, what a good way to go out with a no DQ match. I mean, no disqualification, let them beat the crap out of each other, and it'd be over. But the way I see it is you know, Carmella's a rookie and Nikki is a veteran. Why is Nikki having such a hard time with Carmella? You know what I mean? Yeah,
that's good. Also, what do you think about kind of the gaping plot hole, I should say, from Survivor Series where Nikki Bella was attacked beforehand? Do you what's your feelings on that not really being addressed in the storyline and them just dealing with the Carmella thing? I mean, what's your thoughts on that? Do you think they should have addressed it by now, or do you think that it's okay, they're holding it off for somebody else?
I mean, that could go either way, to be honest. I mean, in my opinion, if you're gonna have somebody attack somebody, you need to go on with the storyline with it, you know?
Okay, yeah. I mean, if you think back, you had something similar. You had Stone Cold back in the day get run over, and then it took almost a year for him to come back to find out his attacker for it to be Rikishi. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just wondering if they're waiting and that's what they're doing for seeing a rehash of that, which I wouldn't necessarily hate because we've not really seen this storyline played too often on TV. So, I would like that. So let's get to our pick. Who are you picking for this match?
Man, just because Nikki Bella's got everything to lose and nothing to really gain against Carmella, I'm going with Nikki Bella. I mean, because if she loses, she's a veteran. She needs to get this win. I mean, that's just the way it is. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Carmella. I like her gimmick. I like everything. But I think Nikki needs to get this win to justify herself still being a top female star on SmackDown.
Yeah, I agree. Carmella has been real dominant for this feud, and with what happened on Tuesday night, Nikki Bella did kind of get one-upsmanship on Carmella. So normally I would say Carmella. Nikki Bella, like you said, needs this win more just to legitimize herself as still as I am the top diva of this division, although I don't have the title. So normally I would pick Carmella, but I'm going to take a gamble. I may be regretting this because last prediction show I did horrible. The Survivor Series, had you went against me on every prediction, you would have won. So you may have to do this time if you play Wrestle Rumble, but I'm going to pick Nikki Bella. Let's move on. Let's go to the chairs match between Kalisto and Baron Corbin. How do you like the build-up to this match? I mean, is this kind of like similar? You tired of this feud already between Kalisto and Corbin? Or
in one sentence, I don't like to see a feud go on too long. You just burns it out. There's just no point in it, in my opinion. That's with any feud, you know. But No, I'm liking this one because I mean they're two rookies. I guess you could say Kalisto was more of a veteran than anything, but when you look at it, Kalisto hasn't really done anything except he won the United States Championship from Rusev. That's about all he's got on his record. Baron Corbin has the Andre the Giant. Yeah, Andre the Giant Battle Royal winner, and in my opinion, I think they should have pushed him for a title if he's going to win that that Memorial Battle Royal. That I would have turned around and pushed him for a title. I mean, but that's just I'm not a writer for WWE, so
yeah. Well, neither am I. It's just this is our prediction show. This is the podcast by wrestling fans for wrestling fans. So
exactly.
It's our opinion, so you're entitled to it.
Yeah.
What do you think about the stipulation of this being a chairs match? Do you like that they have added the stipulation of this being a chairs match? Because I mean, with it being TLC, you almost, is it overkill to have more than one gimmick match this night, or do you like that they're having a chairs match?
No, I mean it's TLC, tables, ladders, chairs. I mean, it's going to be entertaining. I know it will because I like Baron Corbin, I like Kalisto. They're both really good wrestlers. They're both going to put on a show for everybody. I mean, no matter the outcome. So. Okay.
Well, speaking of the outcome, let's transition. Who are you picking? Are you picking Corbin or Kalisto?
Oh, I'm Corbin all the way. Yeah, that's a gimme for me, anyways. In my eyes.
Yeah, and I mean with Corbin, I feel that he's a big guy and he's a prototypical or stereotypical, however you want to say it, WWE guy because he's got the size and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, he's a Vince guy all day.
yeah. So I mean that's where I could see Baron Corbin getting the win on this and getting the chairs match. Although he did kind of cost Kalisto the match on Tuesday. That's where I would normally go with Kalisto on here. So I'm going to pick Baron Corbin just out of curiosity, just to see how well I do. So I'm going to pick Corbin. So let's get to the 4 title matches. Let's go with the tag team. Heath Slater and Rhino are defending against Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. So what do you feel about this feud? Do you first of all, did you like that they had the gauntlet and you had American Alpha, and then Alpha had to wait the next week, which was this past Tuesday, to fight Orton and Bray to determine who were the number 1 contenders? What were your thoughts on that? Did you like it, dislike it?
Yeah, I liked how it went. I'm still in shock that Randy Orton's even teamed with Bray Wyatt. I'm still in shock on that one. When he turned around and RKO Kane out of nowhere, and it just, I was in just as much shock as Bray Wyatt was. But no, I'm ready for this match. I'm excited over this one.
Okay, do you like the idealism of the team? Because going back to Survivor Series, the backtrack, they were the 2 survivors for the Team SmackDown Live. So, I mean, do you like the idea that they were put together as a team to fight for the tag titles?
Yeah, because, I mean, in all honesty, I'm still not a believer in Rhino and Heath Slater. I'm not. I wasn't in the beginning. I understand why they had to win the titles just so they could get Heath Slater signed and get that storyline over with. So I'm surprised they've held it this long. I'm surprised they ain't lost it yet. So this could be the weekend they do it.
Okay, well, so that sounds like that's your pick. So you're picking for Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt for this one, or?
I want to, but I could also see something going wrong and it being Randy Orton or Heath Slater and Rhino winning by DQ.
Okay, well, I mean that could be one possible.
Because I could see Luke Harper coming out and doing something,
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton winning it and getting the titles.
Okay, well, I mean, with Heath Slater and Rhino, like you did mention, I do feel they only won the tag titles because Heath Slater had to, or he wanted to go to contract, and I was really tired of the gimmick of him being the free agent. It was okay, but at some point it was going to wear out its welcome, so I'm glad they killed it before they did.
Oh, it was better back in the day anyway.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt in the number 1 contendership, I think this is going to lead to them winning the tag titles, and it's probably going to lead to American Alpha beating them for the titles because I do think Randy Orton is going to turn on Bray Wyatt at some point. I don't think he's a legit member of the Wyatt family. I just think he's playing mind games to get back at Bray Wyatt.
Oh, that's something Randy Orton's done his whole career. He's turned on people. So,
yeah, I mean, he is called the Apex Predator.
Oh, yeah.
Or he was mentored by Triple H. So, I mean, he knows how to play mind games. Okay, let's go to our tables match for the women's title between Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss. So, once again, this is a tables match for the women. So, I mean, it's really, you have a gimmick match for the ladies. This has happened before because you had Beth Phoenix with Natalya against Lay Cool, which was Michelle McCool and Layla. So, I mean, do you like that they're doing a tables match for the women's title for TLC?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I've been waiting on this to happen in the women's division back when it was Divas. I wanted them to go back to it being a women's division, and they finally did. And, you know, they're starting to do better things with the women and, you know, throwing them through tables. I'll watch it.
Yeah, so I mean, so you're, I'm trying to think of the best word to use here, but you're a proponent for the ladies being treated equally with the guys and not really having to where the guys only get to do the cool stuff and the ladies don't.
Oh yeah, I mean they show up to wrestle. They don't show up to be models. You know what I mean? And that's I mean, well, for a while they did because it was the Divas division, but I like it now because they're pretty much going back to the way they were before, not as harsh. You know, they're not as, I guess, feminist or whatever you call it, or sexist, because they're, you know, Vince McMahon ain't out there having Trish Stratus kiss his butt, you know. So it's not as harsh, which I'm fine with. I'm not saying I want it to be like that because that's very disrespectful. I didn't like it then, but I do like the fact that they are transitioning back into being able to wrestle and not just come out and be really pretty girls that you see on TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I got you. And to kind of comment on that point before we move on, I don't mind the good-looking ladies being in the ring and being able to wrestle.
We're guys.
We're guys. So, yeah, I like the eye candy, and I like girls being able to wrestle. So, I mean, I like the Charlottes, I like the Sashas and stuff like that are the eye candy that can wrestle. But I don't mind the eye candy to be there in the strong, like, female manager role like I like Lana. To me, you don't have to make all the women wrestle. As long as there's enough division there that can legitimately wrestle, I don't mind the Sunnies or stables of the division to be there like the Lanas or Summer Rae or Eva Marie or something like that. Just the ladies that are there for looks. I don't mind the eye candy as long as the women's division has enough legitimate stars and can wrestle, then I'm okay with the eye candy. But
speaking of eye candy, I mean, this is kind of off subject again, but I'm ready for Emma to come back.
Yeah, or you mean Emelina in that case?
Yeah, well, they changed her name 20 daggum times.
I know.
So.
But wrong show. Let's get back to TLC. We're getting off topic now, see?
Sorry, I got excited.
Hey, that's fine. Hey, you and me both. Even Cornbread's gotten excited. How can you not get excited from Emma?
Exactly.
So, how have you liked this feud between Lynch and Bliss?
It's been a good feud. I mean, they're both, I mean, they both come out of NXT almost at the same time, I guess, a year apart, I guess, close to.
Yeah, I mean, Bliss is just coming up, like the draft, I should say, and Becky Lynch for SummerSlam last year, so, I mean, there is a little bit of a distance there, but, I mean, Bliss and Lynch kind of started not too different times in NXT, it's just Lynch made it quicker to Raw, SmackDown than what Bliss did.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, so, I mean, this is what I like to see when it comes to rivalry. Someone's, you know, two people that have come into the company close together, or, you know, I mean, even if you want to talk about, you know, and people will probably, you know, give me crap over what I'm about to say, but Randy Orton and John Cena, they've been in the company a long time. If they was to go back to rivalry again, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Now, don't make it last as long as you used to. That's not what I'm saying, dude. Let's let them wrestle. You know, a good fight at like WrestleMania. You know, some on down the line. You know what I mean? But when you get these rookies in here, you know, I mean, you've got to feud them with somebody, and if you're really wanting to push them over the top, pretty much you got to feud them with a veteran. But I like to see the two rookies go at it because I mean that's the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you. I've enjoyed Alexa Bliss as a heel, and especially on SmackDown. I feel she's done a great job in this rivalry, and talking about how Becky has been dodging her and ducking her and stuff like that, and like how she was cheated. And I love she's a great promo. I'd almost make the comparison to Sonny because of the great promo, good-looking girl, and stuff like that. But Bliss actually has some talent in the ring and can wrestle, so, I mean, that's where the comparison would stop. But, I mean, I do like Bliss's work. So, who's your pick for this match? Do you think Bliss is going to take it, or is Becky going to retain?
Man, I really don't want to make this pick because it could go either
tough
way.
here.
It's so tough. It's so tough because I mean, even I'm not a big heel person. I'm not big on heels. I'm just biased, but you know, Alexa Bliss, I buy into her heel gimmick, and I really do because she does it so well. I mean, she's just so good with everything. You know, I'm going Alexa on this one. I think Becky's going to drop it.
Normally, I would say with what happened on Tuesday night, I would pick Becky Lynch to keep the title. But I just feel that Bliss has her number at this one. And, I mean, with it being a tables match, you can have Becky lose and not look bad. So
Exactly.
you could have her drop the title gracefully. Or, like in controversy with it being a tables match, you could have someone help Bliss to help her defeat Becky Lynch for the title. So I don't think it would hurt Lynch to lose the belt, and I like what Bliss is doing. Bliss, like Lynch, has never held the championship. Lynch finally got the title when she won the SmackDown Live, so I was glad that they kind of rewarded Becky because she was the last of the 4 horsewomen to not hold a title, because you had Charlotte started it, Sasha took it, and Bayley took it. Lynch never took it. Yep. So, I was glad they rewarded her, and Bliss never had the NXT title, women's title, so I wouldn't be opposed to her getting the SmackDown Live women's title, and I really think that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
Okay, let's go on to our next match, and it is a ladder match for the Intercontinental title, the never-ending feud, if we're talking about it.
I'll tell you.
At The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. So, how have you liked the feud thus far? I mean, do you feel it's kind of like that? Randy Orton, John Cena, has it gone too far? I mean, just what's your thoughts?
Well, for one, yeah, it's gone too far. It's gone way too far. And for two, I don't like either one of them. So
you don't like the Cleveland boys, then?
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, no, of course not. I don't like the Cavaliers either. So Golden State, but no. They're good. I'm not down on them at all. They're both really good wrestlers. I'm not a big fan. Never have been a big fan of the Miz at all. Now I've actually met the Miz when he was here in town in Jonesboro for a house show. I met him at a nightclub here in town, and he bought everybody a drink and left.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not saying he's a bad guy in person. I'm sure he's a really good guy, but I'm not a big fan of the Miz. And then Dolph Ziggler, he changes his gimmick every day. I swear. he's a heel one day and a babyface the next. You can't ever tell with him, and he's just too all over the place for me. But yeah, it's gone too far.
Okay.
To get back to the question there.
Well, to get to the stipulation thing, it being a ladder match, an Intercontinental title ladder match, do you like that this is a ladder match? Do you feel that this is the best match that these guys could have would be a ladder match? Or do you think another gimmick would have worked better, like maybe having a tables match or a chairs match? Do you think the ladder match was the best gimmick match to give this match?
They could have went different routes with it even. I mean, it could have been a non-disqualification match. And it's going to be an entertaining match either way you look at it. The reason being is because Dolph Ziggler's good in ladder matches. Always has been. I mean, we know this. He's won Money in the Bank before. So, I mean, it's going to be a good match. I can't say that I would have made it any different, on that case because of the fact that, Dolph Ziggler is so good in ladder matches. So yeah. I think he'll be the one to push this match over the top.
Yeah, and I mean, I've loved what The Miz has done since WrestleMania. I don't know if I really have said this on any podcast or not, but him being repaired with his real-life wife, Maurice, has really brought out the best in The Miz in a long time. This has probably been the best he's been since when he won Money in the Bank, cashed it in on Randy Orton to become the WWE champ. This has probably been the best Miz I have seen in a very long time. So I love that pairing between the two, and that reiterates my point of earlier of I don't mind the eye candy being there as long as you have. So, I mean, you've got the Maurice.
Honestly, that's the best eye candy in WWE right now.
So, I mean,
I'm a Nikki Bella diehard.
So, I mean, that's what I said. I don't mind eye candy there to just be eye candy and be the manager, so long as in the Maurice. I'm fine with that, like I said. But
as long as she keeps wearing what she's wearing,
yeah, I mean, and Stephanie McMahon might be the only one who can beat her on that. But I do like the Intercontinental title, it being a ladder match. That seems to be the tradition because if you look at WrestleMania, when Daniel Bryan retired, you had a ladder match. You had one this year for WrestleMania. So it seems to keep the tradition that the IC title be a ladder match. You've had classic ones throughout the year. So I do like the gimmick that it is a ladder match. And these two guys, this may be the match of the night. This could be the match that steals the show because, like you said, Miz is really good. Dolph Ziggler, amazing, sells well. He's great in ladder matches, so this could be the match of the night for me. Yep. But since I'm saying this is the match of the night, who's going to win this match of the night? Is it going to be Ziggler? Is he going to take the belt back since he was wrongfully taken from him? Or is The Miz going to pull one out on Sunday at TLC?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Sami Zayn interrupts it somehow.
Wow, that's a bold prediction. I don't know how that's going to happen.
So somehow it's going to be interrupted. But, yeah, no, this I agree with you. It could be the match of the night for real. With Miz, even with Miz being as hot as he is right now, I'm still going Dolph Ziggler. He's just so good in ladder matches. I've got to. I mean, I'd be dumb if I didn't. But dang if you do, dang if you don't. Really, in this situation,
that's true. So, and I mean, it's kind of sad that they took the belt off Dolph after putting his career on the line and then him losing to The Miz. It was rumored that the only reason that was done is because it's the Sami Zayn match. They didn't want to have babyface. They wanted to have the heel dynamic, so that's why they took the belt off of him and did The Miz. So I think we are going to get the belt back on Dolph Ziggler, as much as I hate to see that, because The Miz has just been great as Intercontinental Champion. But realistically, I think we're going to see Dolph Ziggler take this.
Yeah. And the whole babyface thing, I'm not opposed to that. If they're great athletes, let them compete.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's not, like I said, I'm not a WWE writer, and that's not how they see it.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, the dynamic, I don't mind a babyface heel. The one I really don't like is heel, because to me that doesn't work well. But I mean, having the two baby faces would have been fine with me. And so I really felt it was stupid that they couldn't do the babyface thing, because it could just be a matter of respect and who's the better wrestler and who's the better brand.
Exactly.
It could be about competition. But speaking of competition, let's get to our main event, the TLC match for the WWE World Title, and it's AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, and also the Ellsworth factor we're going to talk about here in a minute. So, I mean, how have you enjoyed this feud that's been going on?
Dude, I enjoy this feud. I like AJ Styles. No, I love AJ Styles. He is one of my favorite of all time.
Truly phenomenal, you would say?
Oh, yeah, he's truly phenomenal. He's the champ that runs the camp, as he says. No, but,
trying to steal some catchphrases, Jake.
Had to.
We're not from State Farm now. We can't be stealing catchphrases.
Hey, it's okay. He's stepping in the Ambrose Asylum, so if you want to go that route with catchphrases, this is going to be a good match with AJ Styles' high flying, acrobatic abilities that he has, and then Dean Ambrose's I don't give a crap. I'm going to do what it takes, to win. This is going to be. I honestly, I agreed with you when it came to the match between Dolph Ziggler and The Miz that could steal the show, but I don't think it will. I mean, it could. I'll agree with you that it could, but I think this one is going to be the match of the night. It's going to be such a good match. It's
definitely going to be interesting, and the whole Ellsworth factor that has been going on the past several weeks, they've really been filling with up to Survivor Series and kind of after. It has been really entertaining. Do you feel this Ellsworth-Styles feud have kind of dragged on too long? Have you enjoyed that while we got back to the Ambrose-Styles feud? I mean, what's your thoughts on kind of that?
Can they send James Ellsworth back to the Indies, please?
You're not an Ellsworth fan?
I'm done. I'm over it. Yeah, no, I was over that after he had the title match.
Okay. Well, I mean, do you think he will play a part somewhere in this TLC match?
Obviously he could. I mean, it's no disqualification pretty much. It's tables, ladders, or chairs. That's all you got. So he could play a part. He could hit him with that no chin music or whatever. He calls it.
Yeah. So I mean, where do you think he's going? What side of the fence do you think he's going to lean on? Do you think he's going to help help Dean? Wrong D there. D. Help Dean win the title back, or do you think he's going to do the swerve? He's going to be with Styles and help Styles retain. What? I mean, where do you see this going?
Watch him swerve. Watch him. He's going to. I figure he'll swerve and help AJ.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a situation like this,
just to change something up in the rivalry. You know what I mean? Just to change it up.
Yeah, and I mean, to change it up, and I mean, this is traditionally what happens in rivalries when you have a doofus like that that comes in. And I like Ellsworth because, I mean, he seems to be a cool guy.
I'd like him better if he had a chin, but, you know.
But, I mean, that's what they normally do when you have the guy that can't wrestle, and then you have the baby faces kind of taking him on the wing, and then you have the heel. They traditionally will, just for a swerve, to swervist, they'll help the heel. Although it doesn't make any sense logic-wise why you're going to help the heel who's been beating you up this entire time and making fun of you to retain the title. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but WWE just likes to swerve us a lot of times just to swerve us.
That's exactly what I was about to say. It's that WWE writer's logic they got going on.
It's like, hey, I'm going to swerve them just to swerve them, but I mean, that's what happens. So, are you happy this is a TLC match? Because do you feel this is fitting of a TLC match?
Yeah. I mean, they're both crazy. So, I mean, Dean's a little bit more crazy, but they're going to throw each other around. It's going to be a good match. I'm excited for it. I'm ready to watch it for sure.
Yeah, I am too. And I mean, you're going to have the WWE World Title on the line, the pay-per-view is called TLC. You have to make it a TLC match. You have to let everything hang out of it, especially if this is going to be your match that closes the show. So I mean, you definitely have to do that. But with that, who's winning? Is it going to be Dean or is it going to be AJ?
Have we agreed on every single one so far?
We may have.
You make your pick. I'm going to pick the other person.
You're going to pick the other person?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just so we don't tie.
You're going to be wrong then because I'm picking AJ Styles.
Oh. Yeah, I'm going AJ Styles too. I can't do it.
Because, I mean, if AJ's losing the title, it's not going to be at TLC. He's either going to lose it at Rumble or he'll lose it at Mania. Now, a lot of rumors has been we're going to see maybe John Cena beat him at Mania for that number 16. So that's what I'm saying. And he's going to keep the title. Now, Ellsworth, he may not full-fledged heel turn, but maybe the way Styles wins is by an Ellsworth goof up. He goes to try to help Dean, and he goofs up and costs Dean the match. Yep. Maybe that's
like
where
Dean will be holding AJ Styles, and he's supposed to hit him with no chin music or something, and AJ Styles drops, and he gets Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, so I mean, I could see that. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm going with AJ Styles on this one. But it's been fun having you on, Jake.
I'm glad to be back.
As always, remind our listeners where they can find you on social media because I want you to plug your social media.
You can find me on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Jake.Neal.
Okay.
09,
Twitter.
I believe. And Twitter is at Jake_Neal.
And also, I think you have just started a new job. Do you want people to come check you out if they're in the Northeast Arkansas area?
Yeah. If you're in Northeast Arkansas, come see me. I'm at Atmos Vapor Lounge. We have a bunch of vape stuff. We've got stuff for dry herbs, stuff for wax pens. We got all kinds of stuff. We got a huge selection of juice, and we're actually about to move. When we move, we're gonna have a wider selection of stuff in the store to pertain to what just passed in the state of Arkansas. So, okay,
yeah, I kind of guess what that is.
Can you hint at that a little bit?
Yeah, we'll hint.
Pick up on that.
Well, Spider-Man might be your best friend for that one if you're in the comic books.
No, I don't get it.
Well, he likes Miss Watson. If you know who Miss Watson is, then yeah, you can figure out who it is. He likes the green stuff.
I got you. Yeah.
But as always, if you like what you hear, guys, you can donate to Patreon. All the links will be in the description below. My social media will be in the description below. But once again, thank you for joining me, Jake.
Pleasure being here.
Yeah. Also, if you're interested in our picks, you can play Wrestle Rumble. All first place is set to win some big prizes. So check out WrestleRumble.com for more information regarding that. But thank you guys for checking out the podcast. Please share it with your friends. And I always thank you for checking out this podcast. But this has been Robert Rad for our TLC prediction show. And we'll hope to hear from you next time on the Power of Pro Wrestling podcast.
And this podcast is brought to you by the Repost Network. Repost Network. Monetize your SoundCloud content. Sign up today at repostnetwork.com.